Hi, and this is day 15 of our 21 days of green. Today's mantra is sacred union. I'll be right back.
So in the past, when we've talked about sacred union, we were mostly talking about our personal lives. This time in 21 days of green, we're talking about a sacred union with a larger concept, with our home planet. And that's going to require a lot more cooperation with humans. Look, you don't have to reach across the world, but you can. And you're definitely going to have to reach across the aisle. But let's talk a little bit more about sacred union, having a sacred union with our home planet, being more in harmony with our home planet. And I wanted to share with you a video of one of our volunteers, somebody I've been coaching for a while, who honestly inspires me greatly. I mean, he's more brave than most of us, and the changes that he and his family have made are profound. And I hope that you'll be inspired by him. And I hope you'll watch. It's only a 4-minute video. I'm not going to show you all of it, but I want to show you the beginning of it. You simply have to go to earthgratitude.org and just go through. There's the slide, the Dalai Lama, and then you'll see another slide. If you see a little arrow, just scroll through. I think it's the 4th slide, and you'll be able to go right to it. Or you can Google Earth Gratitude on YouTube, Alvin Tam, and you should be able to go right to it. Here we go. And again, I'm just going to share the first few minutes of it. All right, I'm going to stop it there. And again, it's only 4 minutes, so I do encourage you to check it out and watch the whole thing, because their story is very powerful. He also now has built an off-grid solar home and has become, more of a consultant on that kind of life and creating it, as well as solar. And he's going to now move into food, growing his own food. So he's real. You can see they're very brave and they're very inspirational. I'm going to go and visit them hopefully this spring so that I can feature them more. You can see that on my Instagram channel at Instagram. I'm Natalie Pace there, WINNE. And yeah, so I think that's going to be really powerful for you to watch. But I think one thing he says there, which is a theme that comes up over and over again with a lot of people who are legacy, climate champions, is that, we need to be in greater harmony with nature. Our sacred union cannot just be ourselves with one person, our life partner, in a room watching television or connected to the internet and, chasing the globe in airplanes and cars. It has to be one that takes into account our relationship with Mother Nature. And toward that end, it's looking at things in a different way. So if we use the overarching mantra, sacred union, then everything that touches our hands, we have to think, how is this impacting something else? I think I've already shown you how, sadly, 16 billion cups are used and thrown away in our daily use, single use, habitual lifestyle every year. That's 16 million trees. If you're not using recycled toilet paper, you're flushing our forests down your toilet. Those trees that provide the toilet paper, those companies that do that, some of them are chopping down the old growth forest. If you're eating industrial produced meat, same thing. They chop down trees, they create industrial farms, they have to truck in grain from far away because, naturally, like the best way in an organic farm is that the cows actually mow your clover, mow your lawn. Their manure becomes part of the cycle of the crops. So, pesticide problem, for deforestation, all of that can come down to what you're putting on your fork. So a sacred union means that you are now more aware and you are in a partnership with our planet. So let's take a look at some inspiring stories. Again, there's Alvin's inspiring story. The Great Green Wall are a group of people that are coming together. Look, Africa is experiencing a 1.5 degree centigrade rise in temperatures from pre-industrial levels already. Desertification is happening there. Species are dying, deforestation, there's all kinds of problems. So again, as we know, trees and soil and healthy soil are carbon sequestration. So they are building a great green wall across Africa that's about 15% complete. And you can learn more there at greatgreenwall.org. It's interesting because we've all heard about the genocides in Rwanda, and now Rwanda has become a sanctuary for mountain gorillas. There's under 1,000 mountain gorillas left in the world. And thankfully, some African countries, and Rwanda is one of the main ones, they are creating ecotourism and helping to save these mountain gorillas in their habitat, not in zoos. So, these are projects around the world that are more in that sacred union mindset. Tusk.org might be another one. Monarch Butterflies have been reduced. So there's people are being encouraged to plant plants that are helpful to them. And again, being in a sacred union requires information. There's over 100 different species of milkweed. So they're encouraging people in California to plant milkweed, but the native species in California, there are only 15. So planting the wrong species of milkweed could actually be harmful, whereas planting the right one could be very beneficial. So it is going to require making sure that you know what's native to the area in order to be in that sacred union. So we have to learn, just like we would have to learn how to communicate with our partners, we have to learn how to communicate better look, pollinators are essential. They bring us almonds and all avocados, all the things that we truly love are brought to us, in greater yield by pollinators. Toward that end, the Edible Schoolyard in Berkeley was founded by Alice Waters. She wanted a more sacred union with children so that they didn't have to have heat and serve lunches, that they could actually cook food that they had grown, and all of the, great, not only, like curriculum benefits, but also a different way of learning, a hands-on experiential way of learning, which actually is deeper than rote learning. And I did tour the Edible Schoolyard in Berkeley. I was blessed to do that. And I was, led around by one of their eco champions who was a 10-year-old. And I asked her what was her favorite thing to eat in the kitchen, because the kids cook. They have giant knives, which, people aren't really getting hurt. I'm hearing a lot of laughter though, because they're so much enjoying cooking together. And she said her favorite food was pesto, kale pesto. Kids that grow their own food really like vegetables. It's different than when it comes in a can, or if it's something that hasn't been vine ripened, and it's actually like tomatoes. Then in order to get them to last, they'll pick them green and then they'll gas them to turn them red, and they don't even taste like tomatoes. I don't know what the nutritional quality is either. If it's conventionally grown, the problem with the nutritional quality, the biggest problem could be the pesticides on it. So these kinds of kind of holistic view to have a more sacred union with our planet do become key. And again, they are going to be things that will be cumulative. Okay, so yeah, we have to get educated, because obviously not being educated about what's healthy for our planet was a problem, right? It's led us to this climate crisis, and we have to take action. But once we learn how to, which our grandparents knew very well, by the way, once we relearn what humanity already knew pre-industrial, then it becomes the way life is, and we can all be healthier and more beautiful and all the things that we're talking about. But it is going to require considering our sacred union with the planet. Now, I want to take you into the weeds a little bit on electricity, because we've talked about that. Turning on a light switch, even powering an electric vehicle, it may not be that clean. Like if you own an electric vehicle in West Virginia, it's powered by coal. So it's not cleaner. It's not that much cleaner than a gasoline powered car. In fact, it's probably not cleaner than a gasoline powered car in California that has the extra, emissions quality standards. So it's really important to know this. Also, some people are resistant to doing rooftop solar, even in sunny states. And, that's a no-brainer. You get a tax credit, your electric bill falls to $35. The solar company providers are now offering financing options. So it's really important, if you live in a sunny state, to be part of the sacred union partnership that we have with our planet. So I do want to show you just the grid sources. So this is West Virginia. It's 93.5% powered by fossil fuels. This one is Florida. It's about 83.5% powered by fossil fuels. This one is Oregon, and this one is where the majority is actually renewable. So hydroelectric is about half, and then they've got a giant percentage of wind, a smaller percentage of biomass and solar. But they're still reliant a little bit on natural gas, but they have made great progress. That's probably one of the greener states. Here's Arizona. I mean, it's really, really weird that Arizona only has 5.5% solar. Look at all the natural gas there, and coal. And of course, they do have a nuclear power plant. Actually, I think it's being decommissioned. So, why does Florida only have 2.6% solar? I think I might have already told you this, that a couple of years ago, I was speaking in Florida to a group of women, and I said that Florida's grid was very dirty. They said, well, I thought they had doubled their solar power, right? Now, utilities might brag about something like that. So doubling their solar power from 1.3 to 2.6%, it's very misleading, right? So again, you got to get your information from true data sources, not from politicians or politically motivated entities, like which corporations tend to be. So I want to just say, let's form a sacred union. And here's how. Know your state's electric grid, and also take the stairs. Energy hogs, the bigger the appliance, the more energy it uses. The smaller the appliance, it could be an energy vampire, smaller wattage, but all the time. Like if your cell phone charger is always plugged in, it's like leaving the light on all the time. It may be a small amount of energy, but if it's on all the time, it does add up. So consider yourself to be in sacred union with the planet. Everything from reusable cups and reusable water bottles instead of drink and toss. Switching your drinking habits. If it's going to be something that you have to consume out of a plastic bottle or a glass bottle daily, maybe you need to rethink it, and maybe you don't need it as much as you think you do. You know, making the connection with the light switch, the electric vehicle, all of these things are going to be helpful. And considering whether or not rooftop solar is right for you, especially if you live in a sunny state. In the United States, you get a 26% tax credit this year. So whatever it costs, you're going to get that money back on from your taxes. And there's financing available from a lot of the solar providers. And your bill, usually it's 4 to 6 years payback time in a sunny state. And from thereafter, it's like having a bond that pays you 15%. If you're powering your own electric vehicle with solar, then it could be even higher, like a 20-25% bond, okay? In the gasoline savings. So let's consider Sacred Union, and let's rethink all of our disposable and energy hog ways so that we are truly in harmony and partnership with Mother Nature. Let's have a sacred union with Mother Nature. Thank you, and I'll see you tomorrow.